So there's two places you can add negative keywords. You can add them directly to an ad group or to a campaign. So now I'm going to actually add these just to show you. So I'm going to add this one to the campaign level. And how you do this is you make sure you're in the campaign. You can see that the breadcrumb here. If I click on this, I'm in an ad group. But I want to be in the campaign. I want to go to negative keywords. And I want to add this to the campaign level. And I want to save it. So now I have this negative keyword applied directly to this campaign. And now I want to add some to an ad group. So I don't remember where those actually showed up. So let's see if we can find it again. So we searched for breast. It showed up in all the cancer ad groups, right? So we really only need to exclude it from this ad group. Again, I usually like to add these to the whole campaign, depending. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. For this one, we could really just do it to the ad group since that's the only one doing it. But we might even really just cut some of these phrase match keywords because those are the ones showing it. Totally depends. So what happens is we go to negative keywords, we add it now to the specific ad group. And we have those two modifier types. So this will say anything that contains breast cancer in the search term, and this will say it contains the words breast and cancer somewhere in the search term in any order. So this kind of, we got our bases covered here. As you could see, if you add a lot of negative keywords, this gets really messy and annoying. It's hard to keep track of. You're always flipping through these menus trying to find where your stuff is. It's annoying. That's where these negative keyword lists come into play. So negative keyword lists are great because you can add them to multiple campaigns and only have to update it once. So you're basically putting all of your negative keywords in a list and applying the list to the campaign. I like this strategy a lot. The problem with negative keyword lists is you cannot add them to ad groups. So for this example, using the word breast in the cancer ad group, it might just make sense to add these directly here, but I always try to make negative keyword lists and do them at the campaign level. And there's a couple different types of negative keyword lists. We'll talk about those basically when we get into campaign types. But essentially how this works is you're going to want to create lists, add them to the campaign levels and update those because it's going to make this a lot easier to manage. Now you can see here, I have these applied at the MCC level. That's why they're prefixed with MCC. And these are some general terms that, now these I made these like a long time ago. And we used to use them when negative keywords mattered a lot more. But basically, like I tried to take out any of the keywords that would bid on some of these specific terms. So like customer service, for example. We don't want to show ads for people searching for like the brand's phone number and support and order tracking and stuff like that. That's where these are really cool because they save you those clicks. So for low spending accounts, this isn't as impactful, but for big accounts, like you could get a decent amount of these if they're having an issue. Why show your ad for someone searching for the phone number for the brand? Because they're trying to get to customer service. So phrase match, we phrase match them. Anything that contains like contact, Zodiac Collective, it's not going to show up anymore. This one is a lot of DIY keywords. So for like, I found this to be especially prominent in like skincare brands or anything that's like a formula or even some CPG stuff, like where people want to maybe make their own protein bars. DIY, do it yourself, homemade, like these are people that generally have low buyer intent. They're trying to do it themselves. Sometimes these will convert, and they probably convert better now that the machine learning and conversion bidding is much better. But yeah, I mean, we used to exclude these as well. And then there was another list with like just general e-commerce negatives. Now, these are all drop shipping keywords, basically. Like people looking to try to buy like this, they would usually do like brand drop ship or product drop ship or private label anything that might be like, is it a scam? Like, there's no reason to show ads for any of these. These are people that aren't looking to buy from you. They're trying to copy you, basically, or something like that. So these keywords, we used to just add them to every single one at every single campaign when they were created. It's not as important anymore. It does, these just don't have the same weight that they used to. And then there's this last one, which was reviews. But these are basically lists, and lists can contain any keyword, any match type, any modifier. Again, I really liked, and I tried to catch all the misspellings for reviews because we really didn't want our ads to show for people looking for reviews. But I've kind of changed my opinion on that, and now we do that. We definitely want to have our ads show up for reviews, and we'll send people to a page with reviews on. Makes sense. So you could see, like, just again, going back to that, right? Like, misspellings, these don't really account for that. So you kind of have to add a lot of them and use a misspelling generator, and we'll go into that a little bit later too. But basically, negative keyword lists are what you would apply to the campaigns. And then if there's something in a specific ad group that you only want it to apply to ad group, you have to add it at the ad group level. But lists make your accounts a million times easier to manage because this won't just scroll forever, and it gets tricky. So you theme your negative keyword lists. And when we get into campaign types, negative keyword lists are mostly used for basically segmenting traffic by intent. And we'll go into that a little bit later then. But this is negative keyword lists.